Hey, this week for March the 15th in our preschool area, we will be looking at Luke chapter 13, verses 10 through 17. And in this story, there is a woman who has been disabled for 18 years. She was bent over and could not straighten herself. And she was at one of the synagogues on the Sabbath. Jesus sees her. And in verse 12, it says, when Jesus saw her, he called her over and said to her, "Woman, you are freed from your disability." He laid his hands on her, and immediately she was made straight, and she glorified God. So there's this incredible time of healing that Jesus performs with this woman. Well, the leaders of the synagogue get very upset because it was on a Sabbath. And on a Sabbath, there was to be no work done. And so they really try to put their religious systems above what Jesus is doing. And Jesus calls them out and he says, no, if you have an ox or a donkey that needs a drink, wouldn't you take it to get a drink? How is this woman not more valuable than an oxen or a donkey? And so he really calls them out. And when he does, it says in verse 17, as he said this, all his adversaries were put to shame, and all the people rejoiced at the glorious things that were done by him. So I think that a big point for our kids to understand about this story is that Jesus heals and that he cares for us. He reached out to the woman and healed her. He didn't care about policies or procedures. He just did what was right and what that woman needed in that moment. Their big verse for the week is 1 Peter 5:7. And a simplified version of that says, God cares for you. God cares about us. So that is the main lesson that we want them to come away from, is that God cares, and here's evidence to prove that he does. There are some examples of some ways in some of the things that you have in your classroom that you can use letters and sand to build, that you can make a tower, playing doctor's office, and how Jesus is our great physician and that God provides healing for us. There is also a game about playing around the world on a map and talking about different missionary countries we've been learning about on Wednesdays. And then also you can color a picture of the woman who was bent over and then a picture of her straight. They could draw it on the chalkboards. They could outside on the sidewalk with sidewalk chalk. Any of those kind of things that will help reinforce that story for them. Please make sure that you're washing hands, using the hand sanitizer for yourself and for your kiddos in class, so we can do everything we can to continue to keep everyone healthy and safe while they're on our building campus. And the kids will be singing during the worship service, especially some of those 3-year-olds that have been coming on Wednesday night and kind of going back and forth a little bit, kind of transitioning. We will be singing the Who's Your One? So some of those 3 and 4-year-olds that have been coming and participating in worship time, they know the song and they're prepared. So it's Who's Your One? And it's going to be really good. They have worked so hard on it, and it really ties in with what we're learning during Sunday morning during the sermon time. So appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday.